Kia ora koto and welcome to Writing in the Margins. I'm Jules, I'm a writer, but I'm also quite an ordinary person with a job, a partner, a house, a dog, and a mental sanity to maintain. Making time for your passion is hard when you have a busy life, but it's possible and so rewarding. In Writing in the Margins, we explore how to make the time to write as a normal busy human. I chat with some fantastic writers who manage to travel, run their own business, look after the family, and still produce some incredible content. And I also share my own tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I love writing and I know how to make the time for it no matter what. I wrote an entire book while working full-time, maintaining my relationship, hanging out with friends, and moving houses 16 times in 5 months. If you want to know how I did it and how you can too, make sure you click the subscribe button below and never miss an episode on how to make time for your passion as a normal busy person. Now let's get started. Today we're going to talk about that one piece of advice that completely changed the way I write. For the majority of my writing career, and by this I mean since I was about 8 years old, I wrote about a life I wish I had. Like many kids in the 90s, I used to eat, sleep, and breathe Goosebumps. I was also obsessed with anything by Christopher Pike and Tom B. Stone. I binge-watched The Mighty Ducks, Angels in the Outfield, and Air Bud, and that's how my imagination was shaped. I used to write about 12-year-old kids going on epic adventures, finding weird crystal balls in the attic, and fighting monsters and strange creatures. My school in Italy was very different from what I saw in American TV shows, so I would imagine these American high schools with lined corridors lined with lockers and kids in baseball attire hanging out in the cafeteria. I made up so many stories about things that I only saw on TV, but I never experienced myself. I wrote about things I didn't know, and the problem was I never knew where I was going. I wrote on a whim, without a plan, just pretending I was these people in my stories. I really wanted to be those people. I wrote to escape my reality, but this reality I was writing about was a million miles away from my own life. And writing felt good. It felt great. But it was also very hard. My stories were shallow. I created characters in my head that I couldn't relate to. I couldn't possibly imagine how they would talk, what they would feel. And because of this, I often felt stuck, and I would run out of words anytime I would try to write anything a bit deeper or just a conclusion. I did this for years until I took my first creative writing class. And one day my tutor, someone who I really admire up to this day, just mentioned this very casually, even before starting actually teaching. She said something that changed my writing forever. She said, "Write about what you know." As obvious as it sounds, I had never thought about that. I never thought that I could write about what I knew. I always thought I would have to make up stuff. But I started implementing this piece of advice and quickly realized how easy writing could be. If I were unsure about what a character would say, I would just use my own words. Anytime I would not know what would happen next, I would just go back to my past experience and just remember that. I shifted from writing about words I wish I could inhabit to writing to process the life I was living. I learned that you don't need to have an epic life to write about it. I wrote my way through family dramas, friendship disagreements, eating disorder recovery, and anything from bad relationship to childhood trauma. My short stories are now populated by my own past experiences. Fiction is now the space where I have the perfect comeback at the perfect time, I resolve disputes with tools I've gained in therapy, and I can abandon my least favorite exes in a zombie apocalypse. Since I've started writing about what I know, I've never been stuck again. We are all full of stories, and it is possible to write about anything. I encourage you to go on and try it. Write about yourself. Write about what you know about. And if you feel like you're a bit stuck, just remember that this is all about you, and no one knows you better than yourself. Happy writing and speak soon. Bye!